Oh, where we at? We're
Hi,
live.
well, guys, welcome back to InDaHouseMedia TV inside of 285 House Call. And we are here live, of course, with your host, Michelle Diamond. And we have our CEO, Mr. Jerome Dorn, in the building. And it's our pleasure to introduce you to Mr. Jarman, aka BKA, as Simon, your poetry man. And let me tell you, I read some of these poems, and honey, I can't wait to delve in and anyway, we're gonna dig deep today. Okay, so I'm going to have Mr. Simon and Mr. Dorn basically, chop it up for a few because, of course, these are both veterans, and I am just honored to sit in their presence because they are both award-winning veterans, and I just want to hear about, their Army, all the activities and so forth. And then we're going to delve into other great things. So you have the floor, Mr. Dorn.
Yeah, so first of all, Brother Simon, I want to welcome you back, welcome you home. And I understand you served in the Army, so I'm not going to hold that against you.
Thank you. Don't tell me you're a Marine, right?
Simple file, do or die. That's it, all the way.
But you're just a Navy guy,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You just a Navy.
Yeah. Looking, doing a little research. I understand we were basically there around the same time. I served from 70 to 71. I believe you came in 71. Is that correct?
And I went in the Army in 70, and I got out in 73. Okay. And I was over Vietnam doing 71 to 72.
Okay. I just left in 71. And the reason I'm normally behind the scenes, but the reason I'm here because we share a lot of we have a lot of things in common because my understanding that you using your gifts as your therapy. And I have experienced the same thing. I suffer from PTSD. In Nam I was long range reconnaissance, and I seen a lot of action. And the only thing, photography has been my therapy. I've been to 4 or 5 different inpatient PTSD programs. Been on all kinds of medications, and it still didn't do anything. But once I
hate that meds. I hate that meds. Hate the meds.
One thing, I don't trust them. I don't trust the system. It was put for there that's supposed to help us, but through my lens, I was able to find a safe place. And being in a safe place, a lot of the things that I was experiencing began to just go away. And long as I was there, and talking to other brothers like yourself that have experienced some things, I was able to find out things about, the whole key to this PTSD for me was finding out and understanding why I was experiencing the things that I was experiencing when I was experiencing them. Like, for instance, I lived in Savannah, Georgia, near the Hunter Army Air Base, and I was really going through some things. And what I realized was I lived where I lived at was on the flight path of the aircraft. And just people don't realize sounds, smells, movement,
triggers
your So then once I understood that, I knew that I couldn't be in that type of environment. Another incident that I experienced something during monsoon season, and we was out rescuing some kids in the orphanage that had flooded, and we were taking sniper fire. So I'm the primary radio operator, and I hear my medevac number. As you know, you only hear your medevac number when something happens. So you know how they say, "Oh, you never hit a bullet that killed you," or So I'm like, "Wait a minute, I'm here. What's going on here?" Come to find out, my father had passed away, and they were evacuating me. But yet, I still went through that, that traumatic experience. So later years down the line, when we would have a hard rain, or even when I would get in the shower, I would go back. So, but I had to learn about that before I was able to. I'd say to myself, okay, now your butt's thinking, you're safe, go on in there and wash your butt. So, but and when I see that your poetry, I'm like, man, he went the same thing, the same over again. And we need people like yourself and me to let these people know what's going on, how to, without taking that pharmaceutical. Yeah. So yeah, but I digress. But yeah.
Well, I'm going to interject a little bit. What I appreciate you sharing that with us, and what I enjoyed reading about, or Mr. Simon, the poetry man, was that, and I like the phrase that you utilized when you wrote about it, that you use your poems. It is your therapeutic medicine, and it's like an elixir. And that I mean, when I read that, it just kind of just like, oh, this is amazing. And just to see everything that you have done with that, what was your experience? I'm not going to, prolong the entire veteran aspect of it, because you've done some amazing things and we want to put that out there as well. But, with being a veteran and having the PTSD, how did you start writing? What was your experience,
Yeah, well, first let me, I forgot my manners. I'm a Southern Mississippi boy, and I want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of your audience and be in your presence. I think it's a wonderful opportunity, and I do appreciate it. One of the biggest things with me now is procrastination. The procrastination part of it, I think it's a combination of it's so astounding. Let me just give you one instance. I was on the therapy, and my son was. I had told him to do something in heating, and I went out there and I thought I grabbed him in the chest. Had his friends out there playing and so forth. I guess he's young teenager, 12, 13, whatever. And I was shaking him like this. And so when I went to my therapist, I said, well, I got upset with my son and I was doing this and now I feel bad. And she said, was it a choice between life and death? And I said, what? She said, was it a choice between life and death? And I had to think about that. And I said, well, and It took her 6 months of keep every time I go there, somehow she would bring that up. Was it a choice between life and death? And
Mm-hmm.
it took me so long to understand it because when you're there, you got one choice. I mean, you
Like,
got a
yeah.
choice between life and death, and
Mm-hmm.
all of that's with you because see, your choices you make can be devastating, and you want to make sure that you don't want to make the wrong choice because you don't want to. Most of the time, you're not thinking about yourself. You're thinking about your comrade. If I do this, then I'm gonna
This can happen.
get him hurt or get him killed or something. And I
Right.
think that's what bothered me so bad because when we were going through Uncay Pass, we got hit from above, and the sergeant that was sitting right beside me got hit. I think he got his
Mm.
leg messed up, his face, and everything. And when I was able to get back to him, he was begging me, saying, "Help me, help me." And it was, I mean, I couldn't do anything. I didn't have anything. I couldn't help him because he was messed up. And he was
Mm.
holding my hand. Um, so when the
Wow.
medic came, he was still holding my hand and he wouldn't let go. But I had to continue moving. And I just kind of like just kind of snatched away from him like that and kept moving. And that oh man, it killed me. And that stayed with me. And I think I wrote about it in my first book called A Letter to Sarge.
Yes.
Oh man, and that was it. Oh man, it took me I don't know how long to write that because every time I would start writing, all of that would come up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and 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 I felt so ashamed. Like people kept looking at me, and I said, "Oh man, they know what I did. You know, they know that I didn't protect my comrade. You know," and I felt like a coward. You know, so if they knew what I did, and it was so such a heavy burden
Right.
that I just kind of like I got to the point where I was really wasn't able to function. You know, and I got to you know
Wow.
got to the point where I could barely read. I couldn't concentrate.
Wow.
And I'd been working at and I was working at computer programming manager at AT&T, and I got to the point
I
where I
saw
just
that.
you're just sitting there and the tears rolling down your face one day, and you just said, "What's wrong with me? You know, what's wrong?" And but see, I was at first I had been drowning it, you know, with alcohol and stuff, and
Wow. There
when
we go.
I that almost destroyed my marriage. And so when I finally did stop the alcohol, that's when all of this stuff started surfacing, and I didn't have anything to cover it up. And that's when I just kind of like just went out. But like you say, man, it's we're not meant. The heart is not meant to to see that. You know, war is not meant. Not you know. I just I'm totally against war.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I shouldn't say that. Hopefully, nobody sees it. But
Well,
have any guns. Some of
It's
the
an
people
honest
in my group,
opinion, and I
yeah,
very
people in my
much.
group, love those guns, man. All those big guns, the
the
power, and
big
all of that stuff.
yeah.
Oh
What the
man, but I
world
just,
needs is love, not war. So
Yeah.
but
And you,
yes,
you,
indeed,
yeah. And unless you've experienced something like that, you have no idea,
yeah,
real concept of really what's going on. I'm
right,
I'm kind of like on the other side, because and unless you've been some places and seen some things, and like in some countries, you know as well as I do, they'll come bust your door down for reading a certain type book.
well, that's true.
You
Yeah.
know,
oh
from
wow,
that, yeah, from that perspective, I'm there, But other than other stuff, I'm like, look, okay, you got to my country got a problem with your country. Okay, let's put your president in the ring with that president and, and do it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have a saying that my unit has adopted, and it says, freedom has a taste that the protected will never know. You know, and if you look into
that's amazing.
Yeah, that was, you know, and that's how I look at it from that perspective. You know, I've had many arguments with my brother, who was a civil rights activist. He was, you know, walked along Martin Luther King, and you know, from that in that area, and we had many arguments about me going into the military. But you know, I'm like on the fence about it sometimes. You know, it's kind of hard.
Right.
You know? Once you've experienced something like that, and then to know that, hey, it could be a whole lot worse than what it is. You know, so yeah. If it's not for those those brave men that gave their lives for the, let's make it. Thing of it is, okay, they gave their lives. Let's make it count.
Yeah, they, you know, like I always tell them, freedom ain't free. There's only a few of us out here, you know. Yeah. You know, oh, I want my freedom. Now, you know, it's like these people walking around now. They talk about, well, I want my freedom to wear my mask or not wear my mask. You know, freedom means looking out for the other person. Because if the other person ain't free, how in the world you gonna think you're gonna be free?
Right.
You know, you don't know what price it is to be free, and you talking about freedom. I might get up. I might get a little too emotional here sometimes.
Well, that's
anyway.
Hey, you know, that's the thing of that is that I've learned through the years, because for years, everything that I was going through and experiencing, I kept it bottled up.
Yeah,
you know?
That's it. That's true.
And that just made it worse, you know. But now I can. I don't speak about it, but I can speak about it.
And that's a good thing. And, you know, I feel what I feel from, you know, and I'm getting to know you, Mr. Simon, you know, I'm going to say my poetry man now, you know, because now, of course, hearing your work with me. So, you know, and Mr. Jordan, through his platform, you know, InDaHouse Media, you know, he does more than, you know, photography, you know, it's on a whole different level. So I believe that you both have turned that experience into the positive, and I applaud you both. And thank you both for your service. It is not in vain. You know, the people behind you now, I'm definitely rooting for both of you. And just to let you know, I did see that you actually was awarded, you know, for bravery, the State of New Jersey Distinguished Service Medal and Certificate, as well as the Bronze Medal for bravery and meritorious service in Vietnam in '71. So I did my homework, and I'm just going to say
thank you
so much for everything. And what I want to do is turn it now into how you utilize, you know, your platform now and made it the positive. Like, I've read some of the books already. Like, I went halfway through and I'm like, oh my gosh, Yolanda, shout out to you again. I have to delve in deeper. And then the books are it's intricately done, because you have the poems, and then you have what's going on, and then you hit with another poem, and I'm like, she's good. You know, I need, you know. So what I saw, you know, that really touched me was that you actually have a feature in the movie Snow Black, where you're playing the detective Tobias.
Detective Tobias, yes. That was amazing, because the character in that movie, the lady who plays who's the star in there, she actually portrays a person who has PTSD.
Wow.
And I thought that was very amazing. And
was that Gloria Hendry?
No, Gloria is in the movie, but it's what's her name, Sandra.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, yeah, she's on there. She really played her part. She did wonderful in that.
Right.
Actually, Robert got an award for that movie. I'm
So
trying to remember
yes,
what type of
yes.
award he got for that now.
Yes, you
But
guys actually had some amazing co-stars. Like I saw the legendary Nocturnal, you know.
oh, oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah. No, that man is boy, he's so crazy.
hilarious.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I love it.
actually, Knock and Robert Parham, they took good care of me while I was there. You know, they was
Awesome.
wonderful. Took me where I wanted to go and where I wanted to be.
That's
Oh man, that was wonderful. Knock is he's the man, but he don't take anything. Robert is so easy, laid back, even though he gets his job done. And Knock is just the opposite. He ready,
right. Well, we know, we definitely know about Knock, for
yeah.
sure. And, it's amazing. I definitely want to put a little highlight on something else that you've done because you've been in other films, and I'm going to mention that. But right before we do, guys, I just wanted to say, take this opportunity to thank our sponsor,
Okay.
unstoppableproducts.com, for this amazing interview session with the astounding Simon, your poetry man. And let me tell you guys, make sure you go on the website and utilize that promo code as we just discussed before. That's triple M10. Okay, and that's for 10% for the next 3 days. Now, back with Mr. Simon, or Poetry Man. He has also been, featured in other films. Why Me? Which basically covered mental illness, and it
Yes.
had a lot to do with
Yeah.
children worldwide. And I thought that was amazing because that one was actually the child star, 14-year-old
Yes.
Shania Brown.
Shania
And
Brown. Yeah.
yeah, Shania Brown and what was it, Arlena Brown, which basically co-wrote.
Carolina. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
and you played Uncle Joe.
Oh yeah, Uncle Joe. I mean, I had a part in there. That was that was a nice. That was actually my first one I did, and I thought that was kind of. I was amazed to find out how much uh, things that went on behind the camera and so forth, and how much you had to do, and
Right,
that was a very good experience to me. And the fact of about it had to deal with mental illness, and from where I grew up and stuff, mental illness was something we didn't talk about. You get through it, you do this and all that, but uh, PTSD, that's part of mental illness, and I just had to learn how to get through it. And I think what we need to do is, though, we really need to get that out. And I think it is. I think a lot of it is being addressed these days in our neighborhood. Yeah, because a lot of times, you just might need a little guidance. You might need
right.
to find out how to deal with those things,
Absolutely.
finding your triggers. And my problem was that I went from being, I guess, over aggressive to now being a powder puff. So now I'm because you say I don't want to push my triggers too far. So
Right.
uh,
Well, I
I'm very
definitely admire you. And, I think that you're doing an amazing job
well,
with
thank you.
everything. And, everything that I've read, I want to touch on, so much. But I know you had the
Mhm.
opportunity to work with, some greats. You've met, Dick Gregory. I saw some photographs
Oh yeah.
there.
Oh
That in itself, I was just like, oh, because Dick is such an amazing person. He and my aunt were good
yeah.
friends. And, I think he had so much to share and continue to share, but of course, we all have our time. And I've read some of the poems that you've had, and I would love for you, because you are the poetry man, to share with our
Right.
viewers
Right. Right.
one of your poems with us.
All right.
Yes,
I
I'm
was
putting you on the spot.
put me on the spot.
Yes.
The This poem that I have is from Volume 3, and it's called "Give Me My Oscar."
Mm.
And the reason I call it that is because um, the Oscar, you're acting, you're portraying something. The Tony, you're dealing with all your music and different things, and then you have your Grammy, and all of this is acting, is portraying things, trying, you're being a personality, and my PTSD, going through that, to deal with everyday life and so forth. I have to be an actor. I can't really. Sometimes I can't be who I feel I am, and so that's why I said, "Give me my Oscar. Give me my Oscar." They pass by my house at night and see the light in the window, but they don't know my pain and my plight. That it's a candle sitting behind the window shade on the window sill, because the money that I just made was not enough to pay my electric bill.
Mm.
So give me my Oscar and my Tony Award and my Grammy, because I paid my dues. Now, sometimes there's a smile on my face, but my heart is crushed and my soul is singing the blues.
Mm.
Now, can't you see? There's no better actor than me. So give me my Oscar and my Tony and my Grammy, too. Now, she was my everything, my sole reason to live. Everything that I had to her, I was willing to give.
Mm.
I gave her my heart, my love, my soul. She took them and crushed them, and lo and behold, while I was tempting to cover up my heartbreak demise, I laughed and laughed and laughed until I cried. So give me my Oscar and my Tony and my Grammy, because I paid my dues. Yeah, sometimes you see me smiling, but my heart is crushed and my soul is singing the blues. Now tell me, can't you see there's no better actor than me? So give me my Oscar and my Tony and my Grammy too. See, I high five the mail carrier every time that he comes by. He high fives me back. And then he lets out a sigh, because I'm always waiting there, standing by the mailbox. There's a hole in the sole of my shoe, so I'm really standing there in my socks. But he chats with me for a little while, and because he knows my prevail, and that the only thing that he's delivering is old bills and junk mail. So give me my Oscar and my Tony and my Grammy, because I paid my dues. Okay, I'm smiling sometimes, but my heart is crushed and my soul is singing the blues. Now tell me, who can't see that there's no better actor than me? So give me my Oscar and
Mm.
my Tony and my Grammy too.
Mm.
But I'm still looking and seeking for a tiny bit of hope. I'm trying my different therapies and hoping that I can cope. While they're asking, "Are you some kind of a jerk? Why did you jump on your boss at work?" Or they may ask me, "What happened to that guy in the store?" See, I didn't even realize I did that anymore. See, he caught me off guard. He let out this loud shout. I just acted the way I was taught. I didn't mean to knock him out. So give me my Oscar and my Tony and my Grammy, because I paid my dues. Okay, I'm smiling sometimes, but my heart is crushed and my soul is singing the blues. Tell me, can't you see there's no better actor than me? So give me my Oscar and my Tony and my Grammy too. See, this PTSD won't let me live a normal life,
Mm-hmm.
nor be a normal friend. So I crawl into my foxhole in my bedroom or in my den to live out there until my end, with nothing to give, no reason to live, nothing to lose, and never to win. So give me my Oscar and my Tony and my Grammy because I've paid my dues. All right, I'm smiling sometimes, but my heart is crushed and my soul is singing the blues. Tell me, tell me, can't you see there's no better actor than me? So give me my Oscar and my Tony and my Grammy too. All that I ask, give me my Oscar and my Tony and my Grammy too. Thank you.
Wow. That was very
That's
intense. I love it.
oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're
We
very
always
welcome.
acting, putting out. We oftentimes you don't know what's going on, and that's why I see some people walking around and acting. You don't know what a person is going through. You have to be very careful these days. Yeah,
Correct. Because a lot
yeah.
of
Like
people,
you say, need
muster.
love, love, love.
Yes, we absolutely do. And you, whew, that was a deep one for me. So, I know I've read quite a few when I was scamming through. I flipped through several books because you've written one also. And I'm going to come back to another poem that I would love for you to share with us. But I know your new book. Well, it was when it first came out, My Jamaican Gem, and I thought
Yeah.
that was so amazing. And I believe that that was pretty much dedicated to your wife Audrey, and
Yes, yes.
Mrs. Jarman. And in that, I saw this amazing poem. I'm sorry, I skimmed and went through, and I was just like, huh. Okay, and I saw Whammy on Me, and I was just
Oh, that whammy.
talking
Oh,
about, yeah. And I thought that was so amazing because, it just embodies everything and just how much, it showed the beginning because what I read, and, going through everything and your first wife of course passing away from cancer 2005. May she continue to rest
wow.
in peace.
Mm.
And I said yes, I did my homework and
Yeah,
coming back and
so
being able to open up again and finding that love and expressing that and the way you do it so eloquently and it's just beautiful. So
well,
I
thank
just
you,
want you to
thank you.
let my audience know also where they could find your books, and trust me, you're going to be blessed once you open these books up because I did not want to put it down. And it connected on so many levels from the
Well, thank you.
love, the pain, all of it. So let my audience know, Mr. Simon, where they could find the Poetry Man's wonderful and amazing books.
They can go to Amazon. They can go to Zebras. They can go to Barnes and Nobles. They may have to order it. If they like, they can. I don't know if I put my email out there. They can email me. I do still have a few copies of
Awesome.
some at rljarman at yahoo.com. If you want an autographed copy, you can do that, and there'll be no extra charge for that.
Oh
So
wow,
they
that's
go to
amazing.
rljarmon at yahoo.com, and for your uh, autographed copies.
Autograph.
or you can go to Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Barnes and Noble may have to order it because I don't think they have any left on the shelf.
Right. When I tell you these are hot, they're going like hot. They're amazing. Trust me. I mean, I'm not overemphasizing. I loved it. It had me in tears, then it had me smiling, then it had me laugh. I was just like, oh, this is what I needed. So thank you so much for that. So if I were you guys, okay, I know what I would do. I would want a personalized autograph copy.
Yes.
So email him, okay? Like he said, RL, that's R's and Robert, L is in Larry, Jarman, okay,
Yes.
at yahoo.com. Order your copy and you're going to get it personalized, autographed. I mean,
Amen.
what better way? Come on,
Yes.
think for us, you know? So, again, let's thank our sponsor for giving us this platform to speak with you and talk about the amazing things that you did, you know, how you overcame PTSD, how you're still working consistently on that and utilizing your platform through your books and your poetry just to, you know, educate others on how to, you know, have a focal point and know that, you know, it's never the end. There's always another way. So thank you again, Unstoppable Products at www.unstoppableproducts.com for allowing us to have this platform to speak with Mr. Simon. And Mr. Simon, if you don't mind, I would love, love, love if you could share with us Prisoner at the Top.
Okay. Prisoner at the Top.
Yeah,
I think that was in my volume 2 book,
yes.
Prisoner at the Top. Now, the Prisoner at the Top is it's loosely based on my father's integrity because you know I was sometimes when you don't have a lot, you might try to find some shortcuts on how to get there. And but my father, he believed you. He said, "I'll do anything for you. I'll give my life up for you, as long as you're not lying or stealing." You got to come true for him, come truthfully to him.
Absolutely.
And that's why I was in the in the world I was in. I saw so many people cutting throats and cutting behind folks' back and trying to get ahead in the corporate world. And I thought of this called Prisoner at the Top. I climbed to the mountaintop and placed the crown upon my head. I sat down and I crossed my legs and looked down upon my stead. Now I was safe from poverty's pinch and all that poverty could bring. I have no fear of those dreaded diseases. They wouldn't dare bother a king. As I glanced around, they all seemed sick. They gagged and sneezed and coughed. So I ordered my royal army to get busy and kill them all. My army killed every sickly frame, and not a one let out a cry.
Mm,
The dead bodies covered the ground, but the diseases did not
mm,
die.
mm, mm.
The disease continued to march forward. I ordered my army again, but this time only my royal army was dead, lifeless, slain. As they continued to march on and on, I yelled and yelled, "Go back! Go back!" I hollered, screamed, and shouted, but continually marched that army of black. Then, exactly 10 feet around, in the center, I sat, and in a circle all around. They sat and stared lifeless and weird. No wink, no smile, no frown. I tried to find out what they wanted, but they didn't make a sound. And that's when I realized they had what they wanted: my kingdom, my throne, my crown. You do all of these things, cutting corners, and you have all these people, and working for you and you're doing the wrong thing to get to a certain point, and you look down on other people, you end up by yourself. You end up with no hope. But anyway,
That's so
that was
true.
that was that was what I was thinking when I wrote that poem.
That's amazing. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us as well. And, the points that you made about, it's a lonely road at the top as well, so I've seen it happen numerous times, so
Mhm.
you never forget from whence you came. You know,
Yes, 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 yes.
and of course, you always want to make sure that you keep your circle tight and make sure that you're
Mm,
taking care of each other. And I'm a firm believer in that. We're going to grow, we're going to grow together,
exactly.
collectively and work cohesively,
Mm,
because what may learn from you, you may be learning something from me in the same breath,
right.
because we're all
Yes.
teachable, we're all coaches as well. So, never be too proud to say you don't know, you need the help,
Right.
but
Exactly.
never think that you're ever too much of a giant to extend an olive branch.
Mm,
So
exactly.
I absolutely get it. And kudos to you on that. I believe that you're doing a phenomenal job with
Yeah.
everything that you have going. And, I personally would
Thank you.
like
Thank you.
you
Thank
to speak to our viewers and any young authors, um, poets, actors, and even our veterans out there that may have the same,
you.
experiences that you and Mr. Doran had with the PTSD. What should they do to be where you are right now?
Uh, well, I, I try to talk to one of the things that I was was blessed to be was to use these books as a platform to talk to uh, some veterans, and also went to what you call them elderly homes,
The nursing homes, yes.
uh, adult centers, yeah, adult centers, and I spoke to the people. And the thing about it is that once I finished, I spent more time with them then than I did doing the thing because the people, they're lonely. They just need somebody to talk to. They need a shoulder to lean on. And it
Wow.
my my greatness, what did my heart so good was to see them smile. And every once in a while they smile, and I had this one woman tell me, "Well, let me tell you what happened to me when I was a girl like that," and they, oh man, that was just a wonderful time. And just to bring a little joy, a little happiness, a little inspiration to somebody, that's where your joy comes from. Not being mean and pushing forward, being ahead. Now, yeah, I have nothing against being people being ambitious, trying to get their piece of the pie and so forth. But you have to watch the way you get there. But I
That's
think God put me down, brought me all the way down to rebuild me. Because I think once I started doing this, I realized I said, you know what? If I can come back from this, then anybody can come back. Because I remember, like the only thing we had, I had this great big white Bible sitting there, and it was open, and it had been sitting there so long that the leaves were turning yellow. And it's not that I wasn't reading the Bible, but I wasn't reading that one.
right.
But I got to the point where I couldn't concentrate. I would try to read something, and I couldn't remember. And I sat down and on the sofa, and I said, "Let me see if I can read." And it was big print, and I was able to read uh, a stanza. I mean, a verse, and I understood it. I said, "Wait a minute, And so I read a little more and I understood it. And I said, wait a minute, I can read. But I was only able to read, looked like for the longest time, I was only able to concentrate and to understand what I was reading from that Bible. And then I started reading it more and I started reading it every day. And then I got to the point where was able to write. And when I was going to my meeting, my therapist told me, he said, why don't you start writing and stuff? I couldn't. I thought I wouldn't be able to be. I didn't want to write because I knew what was going to happen, what was going to come up.
Right.
But finally, that's what happened. So I say, I'm up here. I'm this big guy in this corporate world, and wearing my shirt and tie every day, suit and tie, and I'm saying, this is no fun because everybody is fussing and carrying on, and it just wasn't my cup of tea, and I guess the Lord had to pull me out of it, and but the way He brought me out, I wasn't sure, but I thank Him every day for what He finally showed me, what my purpose was in life, was to help others, and I always loved poetry. Yeah, well, and so now it's a I guess it's a combination of what's already been a part of me, and it just all had to come together. My purpose
Right.
and the thing that I love, my mission, all of that now is coming together. So what you need to do, you got to find out what your purpose is in life. Once you find your purpose, then you're okay. You find your purpose, then you start going on your mission. Your mission is to accomplish the purpose that God has put you on this earth for. To bring a smile to somebody's face. To bring, to just see a smile. I remember this guy, uh, big guy. I mean, he would be in the gym just working out like he's gonna kill himself. But he was always mean. And so I read some of my poetry at him one day at one of the meetings, and he came after the meeting. He came to me and said, "Man, I enjoyed. I don't remember which poem it was, but he said that was me." And he started talking, and he wouldn't stop. And he talked and talked and talked, and then he ended up with his head on my shoulder, crying. This big guy.
Oh,
All I could do was cry with him, because he's letting it out. I reached him. And he just, oh man, that was a beautiful, beautiful experience. So
amazing.
well, you know, that's I think that's what we are here for, to be a
Exactly.
show for someone else, to help others. No
Absolutely.
man is an island. House divided cannot stand. Well, I
Absolutely.
kind of rambled on a little too long, but
Oh no, actually that was amazing because that's what, our viewers, especially, the young ones or someone that's interested to follow in your footsteps to get to where you are now to overcome or to be as successful needs to hear what it is, because you've already experienced it and this is what the knowledge that you are sharing with them. You see, sometimes people have to understand that when we look to others, for advice and it's given to us, don't see it as it's rambling. That's the knowledge. Okay, so I appreciate that, and
well,
it
thank
was
you,
so
thank you.
well received, and I concur with everything, especially, you stating that you have to know what your purpose is and
Right,
then
right,
make it your mission to see that through, especially on your journey. That is absolute facts. Factual,
exactly.
factual, factual. And with the term that everybody says now, I'm going to use it, period.
Yes.
Okay, so we definitely need that. We had to have a little humor in there somewhere. But
Exactly.
I
Yes.
appreciate everything that you've been doing, and you know, thank you for showing us that it is possible to overcome. And to the viewers, he is not only advocating for his cause, he's an activist, as you heard, because he actually goes and he puts it into action. He went to the, adult home, and he actually listened and shared and read to them. So it's not about what you say you're going to do. It's about putting the action behind it. So we want to take this time to say thank you very much, Mr. Simon,
My pleasure.
on behalf of In the House Media, and of course our lovely sponsor, UnstoppableProducts.com, for having you on this platform to share with us your knowledge. It was so much, and we truly appreciate it. And maybe we could bring you back again to share some more of the exciting things to come. And, this is just amazing, guys. It's definitely not about what you say you're going to do, it's what you actually do.
Yes.
Exactly. And with that, we are going to say thank you to our audience for tuning in. And again, check out Unstoppable Products for that wonderful Unstoppable Skin face mask. And that is at
Unstoppable
www.unstoppableproducts.com.
products.
Yes, for that glow and get your sexy back. It's
Yes,
not only for the woman, it's also for the entire family. You heard it from her first and foremost here on our platform. It is for everyone, and it's an amazing product. So, as she said, as soon as you get it, instantaneous results. It's a one-stop shop. Thus, the reason why it's unstoppableproducts.com, and utilize your 10% promo code. That's triple M10 for your 10% discount only for the next 3 days. So take advantage. And of course, again, we have Mr. Jarman that offered you to email him directly at R as in Robert, L as in Larry, Jarman, that's J as in Judge, A as in Alpha, R as in Robert, M as in Mary, O as in Oscar, N as in Nancy at yahoo.com. So you cannot say you did not hear it correctly, and get your autographed copy of his books. Why not?
yeah,
It
yeah.
was
You
a
follow me. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'll be giving a virtual book signing. I believe it's on the 9th of next month. So
amazing.
tune in, and
We will be there.
looking forward to that. And
Absolutely. We definitely will be in the building to support.
I'll be glad to come back. I'm going to be
Yeah,
reading. I used to go to the schools doing Veterans Day, which is next month, but I'll be doing a
right.
virtual reading for the children in the schools. It'll be on Veterans Day, which will actually be on the 11th of November.
Okay.
So reaching out to everybody, just trying to
Awesome.
just bring a little smile to everybody's different face.
And that's
Be
good,
nice to
especially
somebody.
during this time. Yes.
Yes, yes,
And
yes,
we have
yes.
to uplift and build with each other. So see, so you have it. You saw what he's done, what he's consistently doing, and what he even has planned for the future. And that's only what, a couple of days away, realistically, maybe a
Yeah,
week
it's a
and
couple of
days.
weeks away.
Right, November the 11th, he'll be doing a
Yes.
live reading, for Veterans Day for the kids. So tune in. And is there a site that the link to the site that they have to go to, or just join you on your social sites?
Yeah, just follow me on my social site, and the reading to the kids probably not going to be available to everybody, but I think it's on a Zoom.
Okay.
Don't I just got the information a couple of days ago. Well, we
Okay.
usually go, but because of the pandemic, we have to
Right.
do it virtual. You can
Virtually,
go to the
right.
studio. So
Well, that's still amazing and awesome. So
yeah,
we'll still support, and
I
we will
appreciate that.
follow. So make sure you go out and follow, and get
Yes,
your autographed copy. And again, thank you guys for tuning in. And This is your girl, Michelle Simon, your
Thank you,
host.
Diamond.
Thank you again, Mr. Simon, your poetry man, for coming out and chopping it up with us. And we cannot wait to see what else you have in store. And we will be following you and bringing you back to get all the fine updates. And again, this is Michelle Diamond, and with our sponsored interview today from unstoppableproducts.com.
Unstoppableproducts.com.
Until next time.
All right. Thank you.